Hey guys, if you're watching this now, that means you have ears for intelligent conversations, and this is exactly where you want to be. We have conversations that will get you at the edge of your seat, and this particular one is one you don't want to miss. I have a very honest request from you as we start this conversation. I'd like for you to like this broadcast. That helps us to get this to as many people as possible. You know, we can work together, getting intelligent conversations to people all over the world. And I'd like you to drop your comment. Let us know how you feel. Let's know how this has impacted you. And one thing you want to do also is to subscribe to this YouTube channel, as this will notify you whenever we're bringing up videos, podcasts, or any other kind of video that can be a blessing to your heart. I look forward to having you again and again on this show. Thank you so much. So there's this concept I've heard again and again where people are saying that they need the men to be more vulnerable. And maybe one of the questions on my mind is, are we really ready for a vulnerable man?
Okay, let me jump into it. Then my orgas will will blow it up. Before this conversation, we were talking about conditioning. I don't think we're ready for a vulnerable man in the sense that there's an image of man that we've been conditioned to have as this is who a man is, which is not normal. For instance, we've seen when you're growing up, they tell you boys don't cry, you're a man up, chest it up, don't cry like a girl. Why are you acting girly? Don't emote, don't show your emotions. You have to be strong. You have to be strong for the family. So you grow up to becoming a man who wants to deal with his own problem by himself, who feels me being vulnerable, me expressing how I feel to others is even a weakness. And that's what the society has pictured or has agreed to be the definition of a man. So when you now decide to be vulnerable, then you're creating a cognitive dissonance for people around you. Because yes, they want you to be vulnerable, but cognitively, they are not ready because they've not been conditioned to accept it like that. So there's going to be a conflict right there. So I don't think the society is fully ready for men to be vulnerable.
Apostle, come to think of it. So there's a way a vulnerable man can be a disadvantaged man. So take, for instance, a man searching for a bride. The bride is all out trying to see signs. You can be sure that if she sees vulnerability sometimes in the guy, she can see it as a flaw. Yes, she could see it as a flaw.
And some will say it depends on the kind of woman.
Okay, so it also depends on the kind of man. So we're talking generally now.
Yes.
Would a woman or would the society appreciate a man that displays emotions when he's bereaved, when he's disadvantaged, when he experiences loss? What would the society think about a man who cries uncontrollably? Sometimes, it's good to let it out. It's good to cry. I cry. I cry.
Strong Otuba.
I cry when I have to cry. In fact, each time I cry, I get better. I draw strength. So even though I cry in my confines, I cry. And I know why I cry. I cry because I want to let out. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I think my wife has seen me cry twice. Yes, she's been very wonderful to be able to console, to be able to hold me and tell me no. And I'll give you an instance. So I used to think that I could be a bad person because I didn't have friends around me, just because I walked away from the few bad ones I had at some time. So if I need people around at that time, I don't get to see them. So I asked my wife one day, "Ṣé èèyàn burúkú ni mí ni? Am I a bad person? When I see you with friends, I see you. But for me, I'm always working, not for myself, for the family. So I don't have time to say, oh, this is my friend." So she has groups. She has When Wives Pray. She has Saint Mothers. She has, recently they went to Singapore. The trip, they went to Singapore. Pastor told me Adisa took some of them and they went to Singapore to go and pray and to go and unwind. Do we get to see that amongst men?
You should organize
Apostle.
something like that for us too.
That's the man to organize it.
We should go to Casablanca.
But that's the man to organize it right there.
Okay.
Apostle, do we get to see that amongst men? I watched this movie, The Forge. Did you see how that group was? That was a movie. Do we get to see that amongst men? Because even in the church, you see men spiting men. You see men too busy to even mingle. A lot of people in church, you don't even know what they do. Do you understand? So those are the vulnerabilities that we experience, albeit indirectly.
Wow.
Also, but I think when it comes to the vulnerability of men and if men should, I think the vulnerability of men should be directly proportional to the intelligence and wisdom of the audience. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I think that, and whether the audience is male or female, whether it be an audience of one or an audience of 10, because the vulnerability is not the issue. The weaponization of it is the problem. So we've seen men who were vulnerable and that exposed the chink in their armor. And for men, there's a reason why we have this exoskeleton. It's there for a reason. It's there to protect the tissues that we have on our inside. So we will not end up needing tissues all the time. So I feel that, Apostle is my brother. Uncle Kwa is my brother. They've seen me at my lowest. And when I say at my lowest, and I don't think, and I think over the past years, they've earned that right for me to be that open. And I think that the audience, being an audience to your vulnerability as a man, has to be earned. But the issue is that, because most times, and I mean most times, the people that most men are typically wired against being vulnerable in the presence of is the female gender. And because male to male, we have this unwritten laws of guy alpha ID. You sure say you did? I go do all right. We've said a lot.
Yeah.
Baba, don't worry. We'll go play game. A lot has been said. Now, if I want to open more to you, it will depend on your history with me.
With handling the vulnerability with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, but when it comes to women, I think I dare say that women have not really been trained on how to handle the vulnerability of men.
With some women.
Some. And it's not general knowledge. And I know we're trying to be safe, but
It's not general knowledge. You don't see mothers sitting their daughters down and say, this is how to handle your husband in his weakest point. These are not conversations that are really hard.
Wow.
Yeah, they are taught to cook, and which is beautiful. They are taught to groom the kids, to raise them. I mean, whatever it is that we raise women with. But I say it again that the girl child is not really being trained on how to handle the male gender. The society teaches them how to control the male gender. But the society has not really taken time to tell people this is how men should be handled. I mean, and I thank God for some very wonderful influencers, female influencers that I'm seeing these days that are really talking about it. There's this lady, his daughter 7 or something like that. There is another one, Bumiajida or something. And then they get to speak from a perspective where you know that who raised these women? Whoever raised them is doing a very fantastic job or did a very fantastic job. You cry in front of a woman once, you are dead. And some women, and like I say, like Apostle has been stating, now this is not to generalize that every woman cannot. We are speaking to the population that cannot handle it. So if you can, congratulations. Teach those that cannot. But we are speaking to those that cannot handle it. And I feel that it can be a lot because, like you said, Uncle Kwe, it's a cognitive dissonance. They can't, it's a root shock. Some people don't even know. Even some men don't know what to do with a fellow crying man.
Yeah.
You're like, guy, why you can't they cry now? Why? Baba, this one where they cry. Why they cry like woman now? Whereas the guy is dying. Your guy, they die.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Particularly guys who are very pushy and are quick to project their opinions and dismiss others. Oftentimes and I think the society has not done really well in projecting the fact that an average man is deeper than you think. You keep seeing conversations and books that talks about you can't understand a woman. I will make it look cheap understanding a man. That if a man has 5 things to tell you, it starts from the cheapest to see how you bear it.
Yes.
And that's what determines if he's going to go further.
Yes.
And unfortunately, many men have sized up their spouses and seen that they have no base.
They have no base
to carry their debt.
Yes.
So they carry as much as they can. And when it gets to the point where they can't carry again, some will pull it off at beer parlor. And in some very terrible cases, some end up in the hand of very strange women.
Yeah.
And I think to pick it up from where he left off, you have to be able to be in that space where you'll be on the same wavelength to be able to dish out certain things. For a lot of men, what they've met with is that once they open up, it's being weaponized against them. And that alone will stop them from saying more. For homes where, I listened to a podcast the other day, and someone asked the pastor, said, how open should we be to our spouses? How open? And I watched closely how he answered that question. He said, it has to be part-time, as much as they can take. Because if you open too early,
you crash the system.
I'm not saying you should be truthful, be honest, but measure how much they can take part-time. Otherwise, you crash. So I think it's something, I don't know if that responsibility should be on us, but we should be able to bring them to term so that they get to that point where they are able to hear us. They're able to understand how to relate with us when we're in that vulnerable
that
state.
what you said now just reminded me of there are some medicines and drugs that they don't administer it by age, they administer it by weight. So there are some levels there are some things you don't expose some people to by virtue of their age or by virtue of their weight. And because you drop some things on some people and you watch them crash right before your very eyes. And it's not because they chose to, but because over time they've not built capacity to handle such information. I mean, I can be in a company of some of my guys, and then like maybe there are 5 or 6, and they're exposed to certain circles, and then inside, and then they'll just pass one gist, just very one sharp update after that. I'll be like, guys, how far? And they'll be like, Baba, Mono tell you this one, or this one will crush you. And because they understand, they know where I'm at. And if they drop that on me, they know how it's going to really. So I feel that the society at large, looking at it on a macro scale, is actually, and that's why conversations like this is necessary. The society at large is not ready. Is not ready. This is an attempt for a revival.
Yeah.
The society in itself is not ready for men to open up. Because when a man opens up, can you bear it?
So it just reminded me of something. Okay, so maybe I should just chip this in. At some point in 2020, 2021, when at the peak of scarcity, 2020. So I had this project of mine that I was trying to do, and fortunately I met this very influential person, and we got talking, and he promised, oh, let's go see his godfather. Of course, if somebody was influential and referred to another person as godfather, you can imagine how. So we went to see this person, and we were there at the hotel lobby. The person came, and we talked. I presented the thing. He was so ready to help me. He was fascinated with the project, and he said, no, we're going to do this. However, when we were going, the Holy Spirit told me that you remember that whatever you do, I'd always told you to be very open with your faith. Tell the person, if anything happens and you want to bring me into something other than Jesus, denounce it, reject it, walk away. Walk away if you don't want to die. So I had the intention that I was going to tell him. So while we were driving, I didn't say it. While we were there, they now told me to excuse them, and they were talking. I have this gift. I could drop my ears on a table and hear what you're saying. Very strange. Very, very strange. I was asking him, whose son is that? Where is he from? Fantastic. But if you do this for him, what's the price? I started getting scared. I was looking at their gestures, body language, and all. Long story cut short. When we got home, all the way home, I dropped my car. So we drove his car all the way home. I didn't say anything. He didn't even utter any word. And we got home, and he told me to come to the bedroom. We got to the bedroom, removed his shirt. It was just a singlet. Removed the trouser. It was just his pants. And he looked at me and he said, Egbe wo gan lo n ṣe?
That is, what group are you in?
What? So
Cult. What society?
It's society.
What cult do you belong
Cult,
to?
yeah.
Egbe Light Nation.
So at that time, I hadn't joined Light Nation. But then I had a personal encounter with God that made God tell me, remember, I'd gone through that suicide thing. So I had understood that whatever God doesn't give you will not last. So I said, sir, I even wanted to tell you since that I don't know how I forgot, but let me say it now, Sal. This thing you want to help me with, it will profit both of us. But the day you try to make me deviate and join a cult or bring something that is not clean, I will walk away. He just picked one very big Bible about the size of this stool. He's I'm for Jesus.
He switched.
He switched.
Immediately.
Guess what? I never heard about the man. He never called me again. It actually went on with the idea. Of course, they made money. Maybe down the line, in about a year, he bought 2 houses in GRA. He bought another one. Later I heard he bought 2 houses in GRA, he bought another one. But he lost his daughter. Medical doctor
Okay.
in the US.
Okay.
I don't know, but I'm not linking it to anything. I'm just saying that.
Oh, just
that's-
yeah. Putting it out.
Now,
You don't link it. Who do the linking?
So that night, now the question is, that night when I got home, because I was vulnerable, and my wife knew that we were vulnerable at that time, would it have been appropriate for me to have told her?
No, that's
vulnerability.
That's the deep angle right there.
At its peak.
I'm trying to picture something. You have had an experience around that. When he was offering his clothes, I saw your face change.
Yeah. You know the gist.
Because you want us to go there.
It sounds so familiar.
Because the conversations around that, you want to get into that conversation.
I mean, I think what I will go is to, protecting the boy child. And then, we have a whole set of different people, under the clothes. Everybody wears clothes and you have zero idea as to what they are dealing with inside. I've been with, somebody that was well respected.
Yeah.
In where
Code it.
Code it.
In a very specific circle, highly respected by those that we respect, and then gain interest in me as a very young man. And he said, "Oh, I like you. You're very creative. You're very this. Oh, head this, head that for me. So when I come around, you can give reports." And I'm like, okay. And then there's this event that is like the peak of what we used to do then, and it was like, "Oh, fine." I said, "Ah." And my father had a house nearby. But I said, I was going to go with this big
People.
big uncle and then, stay with him. And, I got there and he exposed me to so much access so fast. I'm like, and this guy is like the number 3 most powerful person in the something. In our own ecosystem was like number 2, right? And so here was I, maybe number 270 something, rolling with the number 2, driving around. And then we got to the hotel at night. And then, but I did a photo shoot then of myself. And the pictures were so lovely. I'd put the pictures on his phone because he had a much bigger phone. So what I'm saying is over 12 years ago. And so I'd sent my images to his phone. And we got to the hotel room.
He was fantasizing about
And
your picture.
I got another guy. I met another guy in the room. So it's the offering clothes part that. And this is the first time I'm ever saying this publicly. I met another guy in the room. And,
Wait, the guy you met in the room, clothes on or clothes off?
Clothes off, of course.
Okay.
But because I went to a boarding
Look
school.
like guys thing. That
Yeah,
it
it's a
shouldn't be
guy's
surprise
thing. Like,
that a guy.
you won't freak out if you walk into my room and I have only my briefs on. It's just,
Of
it's
course.
a guy's thing. But the guy tried to give me attitude, like, and it was from maybe Malawi or one other African country like that. I was just like, maybe that's how they do in their place. And then time came for us to shower, I just jumped into the bathroom and it was all these bathrooms with clear glass. I didn't know I was turning uncle on.
Sir, man.
12 years ago.
And when it was time for us to sleep, then he told me, and it was a very, coming from a campus environment, 3 of us could sleep on this sofa. One head would go like this,
Yes.
tail would go like this, head would go like this. And then the sofa was a king size, super king size of bed. And it was time for us to sleep at night. And it was like, Yemi, you can't stay here with us. Oh. The bed is too small.
We could manage this.
No, it's not even manage.
There's space.
If we slept on that same bed, 3 of us, and spread like this, will not touch.
Yeah.
And he said, no, the bed is. I'm like, maybe that's how Boti, children, and Angola people used to do. Maybe the bed will not reach. And then so they got me a big room, same size, same everything, upstairs. And I was even taking pictures and sending to my family members. I see, I made it. I'm the first in the family to lodge in this kind of room
Hotel.
by myself. And then night went. The following morning, I went downstairs. The other guy had gone. And then we went around day 2 for a Christian event. Oh. Day 2 went like that. And then we got back to the hotel room and it was time for us to sleep. So normal, but that night, because normal, I would have taken off everything. That night, I just remained my boxers. And then I was still asking this uncle, I said, Egbon, when will you marry? And I was like, yeah, I was in this relationship with this person, it didn't work. And then, okay. So, middle of the night, I just woke up. Bros was dragging my manhood. Oh.
Man.
It was not, it was dragging. It was serious. As I woke up like this, I woke up like Abejoye. I woke up like, woo. Protect the boy child.
Protect the guys.
I woke up like this, grab the future generations. That's stop and touch me right there. What? And because I was so shocked, I was having a cocktail of different emotions, anger,
What is
fear,
this?
surprise. This is somebody that we look up to in the spiritual ecosystem.
Shocking.
I did not even, my brain took a flight, came back, took another flight. I didn't even know. So that was the day I realized that they say flight or fight. There is a third one, freeze. Yes. So that's why we used to abuse them in Nollywood that car want to jam you, do. No, there's a third one where the brain can't decide whether to fight
or to fly.
It just freezes. I just froze. And Bros was trying to hold this your knee very well. So this was me holding Tobo and Tojumi. And it was pulling the team, pulling. All I could just do was freeze like, this is not happening. This is not happening. This is not happening.
Wow.
And after a while, and all I did, I still froze like I was sleeping. Of course, Egbon knew I was not sleeping. And I just turned my back to him like this, like, look,
That's even dangerous too.
and that was the biggest mistake. As I turned like this to him, bros just put leg over me like this. I'm serious. I'm told you, you were the first person I called.
Yeah, you called me.
Baba just pulled the leg up. Hey, what? Till date, if you hug me anyhow, bro, you collect.
Wow, the trauma.
The thing is, scared me. No, you don't jump on me.
After I heard your story, I had this. I've not shared this with you guys before. So why
You had similar experience?
Wait, let me
mine
finish.
is not
Okay.
that.
Let me finish. As bros just do the thing like this, he was not trying to touch. It did be
Man to man.
man to man. It is vexing me. It is vexing me.
12 years afterwards.
12 years ago.
Wow.
And the guy was just, and then after like 5 minutes of struggle, and this guy was the most pleasant big brother ever.
Yeah. Come.
So when people come out and say, hey, this person touched me, this person, and they said, no, he can't never. I said, shut up.
Wow.
Shut up your mouth. It be the people you don't expect.
Wow.
And then after like 5 minutes, the guy just freed me. I could not imagine. It felt like a nightmare. It felt like a bad dream. And then I was just struggling because it happened like from sleep. I don't know the sleep that caught me. I managed to sleep back. I'll sleep back. I'll sleep back, but this time I'm ready. I slept back. And then when we woke up the following morning, his face has changed. the super cute Egbon that was laughing with me was not laughing with me again. And then we're like, oh yeah, let's get ready. We are late. And me, I was even still trying to gather my stuff. He just gave me one very strong.
Spanking.
No, spank does not cover it. Abara.
He's spanking.
On my back. Will you get ready? I'm deaf fast. And I saw his face. It was like a wolf. It changed. That's the face of a man that you deny Konji. The guy was pissed with me. In my mind, I was like, what did I ever do to communicate to this guy that I was showering naked. I was sending my pictures. Oh, so I was the one leading him on. So maybe in their something. That's how you do.
Yeah.
You bathe naked. You send pictures. And that was how I just told him. I said, my uncle got to hear that I'm around. He sent me to, okay, if you are watching this podcast, I've cast you. Because I've cast you. Do anything funny now. And I can come for you. The guy just came. I just told him, bro, my uncle is there. He asked me to come. And then he told the car to go drop me. And he dropped me. And so I made the car stop like 7 houses to the place for security reasons. You ain't gonna know where I live, man.
Wow.
Yeah. And the guy dropped me. And 3 weeks later, I saw him on campus again. And immediately I just told my friend, wait, I call her guy. She's my very, very tight friend. I said, guy, I beg, I won't do one stunt. So I changed my friend's picture. There's a picture we took together. I changed it to my wallpaper. So the guy now, he saw me. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. You. You. Now saw my phone. Let me see that. He now looked at the picture. Look at me. For like 2 awkward minutes.
Some punch right there.
I'm telling you. The last time I saw him at an event. He came there. I was with my son, and I said, sir, this is my son. And my wife.
You put it out there.
I saw him last year.
Wow.
I saw him last year. And these are things that happen that so when you say you're off trouser, you're off clothes, that's
a proper memory.
You were going to share something.
The similar one I had, remember the place we did our retreats?
Why am I always the one in the
So when we're talking about men being vulnerable, it's not that kind of vulnerable.
Yes, it's not that kind of vulnerable. The place we did our retreat.
Yeah.
So we usually play games at night.
Oh, that same place.
That same place now.
Apostle was there now.
Wait now. So there's this other guy that stays opposite that apartment. He's a lawyer. His dad is comfortable and all of that. So he would join us to play. And guys, now it's night. Everybody, you're just on your briefs. Guy, just. So usually the rest would have played and, gone their separate ways. But me and this guy will stay up and play till morning.
Like soulmates.
I never knew this guy was always watching me. What? Because I'm just focused on the game. Until a lady came around and this girl likes this guy because he's actually a very chill guy. And she was trying to, I'm here. She will even cook for him, take it to his apartment, just to look at me. Until one day the guy just cleared, I don't like girls. So she told me because they know that amongst them, I'm
you don't like girls.
Academic
What do you
person
like?
and all of those things. So
If you don't like girls,
the thing did not sink well. Like, I'm like, maybe you're not attractive to him. So stop forcing yourself on him.
wow.
So one day, I had to ask him. I'm like, I heard this. So you said to this person that you don't like. He's like, yeah, bro, I've been wanting to ask you too now.
Shit.
Wow.
Yeah. Why would I thought to Auntie
I wanted to ask you. I heard you have a girlfriend and you're planning to marry her. Why do you want to marry her now? Every first blow. I said, I love her and I want to marry. She said, honestly, okay, I heard that you are a counselor. Why are you people attracted? That is how he asked. Why are you guys attracted to all these girls? Why are you attracted to them? I said, bro, just hold on. So I had to move back. I was picturing the several nights we played games together and I was on my briefs. Just like the images coming to my head. I'm like, are you this? He said, yeah. Wow. Immediately, I told him I need to use the restroom. So I go call our guy.
Did he follow you? Did he follow you to the restroom?
Just no, he stayed outside. So I called our guy. I said, we are in trouble in this house.
Can you even guarantee that guy too? Because there are those who straddle the boat.
Yeah, I know. Now, me calling him is to establish that he is not. So when I told him, he was
so
like,
that was more like an arale egg.
yes, now. So when I told him immediately, he said he's going to call the carpenter to change the lock of the house that he was suspecting.
Wow.
You know, so I went outside. I'm like, are you joking? Then he told me that no, that he felt the reason why we play game together is because I'm in. I said, me, moi, bro, you got it. He said, that he was even planning to introduce me, that they have a community. This is in Lagos. That they have a community where just like
very, very strong
girls do hook up, that they have their own where you order and they come around and all of that. Wow. I just cleared
They want to attach you.
Yeah. I said, you got it all wrong. So I switched to my own counseling mode just to investigate where did this start from. It started from the age of 4. His cousin, did that to him.
And I think we need to get into that
things.
conversation. What happens to the boys in school, boarding schools? Some of these schools, they go there, they can't come back to say what is happening. They're introduced to all forms of vices, and sometimes it's wrong teaching. And the guy starts feeling that he's feeling he ought not to be a guy, he ought to be a girl, start behaving like that, and then start liking other guys. And I think these are conversations that needs to happen. What's going on with the boys in school? Who's checking up on the boys?
I went to boarding school.
Yeah.
But as God would have it, I went to a mixed boarding school. And I don't think without decadent society has gotten right now, that a same gender school, boarding school, I don't see the need for it. I don't think that in the most formative years of a child, when the hormones are raging, it should be surrounded with only people. Is an anti-societal wiring, right? I think for whatever reason it was established, I strongly believe that reason has long been defeated, right? But that aside, that's just my opinion. Anyways, I went to a boarding school, FGC Kirum, and all through my stay there, they used to write some things around the walls. It was stenciled by the school authority. And I never got to know the meaning until I left school. Do you know that one didn't dawn on me until 2 years ago? So everywhere we used to go to, they used to write, no bullying. They will stencil it on each classroom. On this classroom, no bullying. As you're walking past, you will see no loitering. And then the next one is no fagging.
You didn't get that until you left.
Now, loitering was a word I never heard anyone use all through my 6 years in school. Loitering. We never knew the meaning. It was a non-existent word in our vocabulary. Nobody knew the meaning of loitering. It was not even used in any statement. Bullying, we didn't know what the meaning was. Nobody used the word bully. What we knew was seniority. Do you understand?
Wow.
Nobody used the word loitering. What we knew was, you're walking around. Now, nobody used the word fagging. So I'm not like, this is something that has been that existent since the time when we were just pure innocent, because we were operating on a different spectrum. So for the school authority to write no fagging Unless forgive means another thing. And I'm not like, it got to that point where they had to write it on the walls with all the beautiful features God has put in girls, even though they were in GS3. and I'm telling you, it you go into these things. I knew one of my classmates that used to scale fence, and I've forgotten the time we used to use for it. He would run to town and sneak out of school and go and smoke Igbo. We call the guy Tosco. We go and smoke Igbo. It's been like that since we were in GSS3, SS1. And then when he scales first like that and comes back, he will bring fish, bring many contrabands in, and sell to other students. And everybody left school. Then we came back for 10-year reunion in 2018. No. Tosco was, this guy had become a full-blown addict. You know, when you come for reunions like that, they lodge us in the same hostel as we were. So all of us were just there having the boarding house experience again. Tosco still left to go and smoke Igbo. And he came back. I asked him in Yoruba, I said, Tosco, Tosco, are you still doing this? He said, Omo, I'm Igbo for Nuni.
You brush with
We brush, we marinate our mouth with weed every morning. And it got me to realize that the same track, the same creative and religious track I had been on from school is what I'm still on today. And I looked at almost all of us that came for that reunion. Our destinies were somehow sealed in that season. Many of the church guys that were chapel boys then ended up as
because
pastors.
that was the formative season.
That was so it is too crucial a season to Malando.
So let me, okay, yes, you want to say
Apostle,
something?
If I may say something about the boy child. We got talking last week, and I told you about what my wife received from God about training kids from between 4 and 12. I moved to Abuja, so I had to move them, and we were turning between, okay, what do you want to do? I could have gotten a government job, but at that time, God just revealed himself to her and said, you know what? I need you to stay with the kids. If I'd gotten my wife a job, it would have affected my children. But I couldn't push it. So I made her know I was looking for a job for her so that she doesn't feel like I'm trying to suppress. You get. So when she heard from God herself, I was just like, no, Holy Spirit, thank you. Thank you, because this would save my marriage. It would save my home. Do you know, sir, that between 4 and 12, boys get all they're going to be in life? Wow. I'll tell you. So we've got an 8-year-old in the midst of that fellowship that's causing trauma for his parents.
Wow.
But at the same time, we've also got 5-year-old that spoke in tongues just yesterday. So when she told me this was the next thing on the curriculum during the week, I said, no, you got to be kidding. How do you want, I'm a KKK, this little kid speaking, how do you want to do it? And it was so wonderful seeing that happen. Now, if you catch them young, so the burden lies on the parents. Do not leave your kids for the society to train.
To raise for you.
To raise. So it's on the parents. And that is why, if both do not agree, it's a risk that will be transferred and hatch on the kids, on the children. You spoke to us last week and you told us about your family. You told us about how you talk to your kids. Do you know, at the end of the session, I had to ask you, how old are these kids we're talking about? And I can tell you that you're proud of them. God is proud of them because of the investment you put in them. So just to answer what Apostle asked about the boy child, I still think that if you catch them young, instill those knowledge in their heads, they will not depart from it. Just like the Bible said, train up a child in the way to go, not train up an adult, not train up a teenager, train up a child in the way to go, so that
You
when
can't
it
train an
grows,
adult.
it doesn't depart
Yeah.
from it.
And he has
I
two
think,
mature boys, and I want you to say something about
yeah,
that.
I think for the boy child, we don't pay attention to them as much. The society don't say so much because it's always a girl child. This could happen, that could happen, and this could happen. For the boy child, there's so many young, very little boys who are abused by their caregiver.
Wow. Yeah.
From that age of 2, 3, and thereabouts, you have their caregiver will bait for them and do all manner of things to them that they will not tell you. So, yes, as much as you're busy, pay attention to how your children are being cared for. Because at the end of the day, you will spend that time you never had when they were young. You will spend much more of that time correcting the heels that you didn't do when they were young. I think for us, what happened for me was that we agreed that my wife wasn't going to do any job that would take her too much away from home until the last kid is 5. So when we got married, that's what we agreed. I was an investment banker, so of course I was always everywhere, but she paid attention. When we had our second kid, she had to get a government job, which was 5 minutes away from home. So she paid attention to the house. I think it's something that we need to understand, that we can't both be. There's time for everything. We can't both be so busy that we'll leave the care of our children for outsiders. So for the boy child, if you don't get them at that early age,
Yeah.
they'll begin to listen more to someone else.
True.
They'll begin to learn more from someone else. And at the end of the day, you lose them totally.
Totally. I remember I remember the story that my dad used to share in church when he's talking about raising kids. So he's the one that made me remember the story. So I remember the story. I didn't remember the incident. He said there was a day I came back from. So remember I said in the last episode that my mom has this tiny store that she sells stuff. So she sells contraceptives, condoms as well for people that just want to buy. They used to call it CD. Just say, give us CD. And my mom just told us, oh, this is 5 naira, this is 10 naira. So we didn't even know what it was used for, right? Half the things that were there, we didn't even know. We just knew the price. My mom just labeled it that this one is 5 naira, but we could count, so we could sell. So as at then, I was not even the one selling. My mom had somebody in the store. So we would go in there, play, come back. And my dad was saying that this was not even when I was not even in primary 1 yet. So I'm guessing I was maybe 4 turning on 5, thereabout. And there was a day I went out and I went into my mom's store just by the fence of the house outside. And I brought out the condom. And I know that people always buy this. At night, they always buy this thing. And I asked my dad. And I said, Daddy, what's this? What's this used for? My dad said, and my dad is a counselor, he's a psychologist. My dad said, what he bed you? Go back inside. Like, you're too forward. Did we take that and return it? I'm like, and he said, okay. He's the one sharing the story himself. He said, I took it back and I'm like, okay. And then the following day, I went to school and I came back and he had a guest. He's always having a guest anytime I want to do my. So, and he had a guest and I just dropped my school bag and ran to him and I asked him and I said, Daddy. He said, what is it? I said, now I know what condoms are used for.
Oh.
And then he said, what? And I did like this.
Oh.
I was 4 going on 5.
He lost the opportunity.
He lost the opportunity.
Yeah.
So he said, I taught him a valuable lesson that day, that if you don't teach them inside their house, society will teach them.
Correct.
So I have 2 boys. I have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. And so when the one that is 5 now started growing up, my mom was around and he was running around the house without his diaper or something. And it was 3 at the time or so. And I stopped wearing his diaper. And then my mom now said, Toba, go and cover your kokoro. We said, Mommy, no, it's not kokoro. Mommy, it's penis. She said, Toba, what's this? Penis. He now covered it. My mom now said, why did you cover it? And I said, because it's special. I let them know now. Let them know now.
That's it.
And we raised him in such a way that no. The boy doesn't give any false recurrence of anything. He will tell you where his teacher spanked him, the intensity. He will say, Auntie Kinekon touched me today. Where? Here. Was it a good touch or a bad touch?
You help them understand. Good
Understand.
touch, bad touch.
She shoved me because I was not writing. Did it pain you? No. Do you understand? Even everybody, and we do that in the presence of everybody in the house. So we are sending a signal in case Satan want to enter you. This boy will talk. And I think that parents have not done a good job in listening to children. You think what they are saying is rubbish. They are smarter than you. Their brain is brand new. Yours is used. Let me say this, and I'm coming from a spiritual angle here. My dad has an uncle, and Chifato Kun, they were staying somewhere in Ife, and they said anytime they wanted to sleep at night and they wanted to pray, they didn't used to involve the kids. And one time, I think maybe they put the message in church or something, they said, involve the children in this devotion, something. And then they asked Uncle Ife, and they said, Ife was the last born, and they said, oh yeah, pray for us tonight. Mind you, this was the first time this guy was going to pray in the house. And he said, Jesus, everybody say amen. Jesus, amen. Don't let, how did he put it? Don't let thieves enter. No, don't let goats enter and eat our cassava. One, they were not rearing goats. Secondly, they were not rearing cassavas.
They don't have cassava.
They don't have cassavas. They were not planting it.
So where did you get the prayer points from?
You will find out now. And then the following week, some robbers came. This was over 30 years ago. Came, and you know that time the armed robbery was armed robbery. They entered into every house on that line and butchered people like cassava. And they skipped their house. And they went on to the next house. So they didn't still get it. So it was when people came out the following morning and they were talking, they said it in Yoruba. They said,
See how this goes.
look at how these goats of human beings came in and butchered people like cassava. That was when it clicked in the head of the mother and said, that's the prayer that Ife prayed.
Wow, interesting.
So children don't, in their gibberish, there is wisdom. They see stuff. And we as parents must learn to listen to them. And that's the time that, apart from that, they are smarter than you. That's when they're going to play games. That's when they're going to push boundaries. That's why they're going to try and test the limits of norms. They're going to try and push your buttons. But if you feel that, oh, it's just a 4-year-old, it's just a 5-year-old, it's just being naughty.
He's establishing a pattern.
He's establishing a pattern. I remember the first day my son, Tobo, hit my wife. Oh, I spanked him. He was 3. Oh, I spanked him. I spanked him, not like the way my father spanked me. but I spanked him. And as I was spanking him, I kept telling him, because I know it worked for me. And I kept telling him, you don't beat a woman. You don't beat my wife.
Wow.
You don't beat a woman.
Amazing.
You don't. That was the last time he did it. My brother's kids came to spend some time with me. We're talking about the boy child and talking about children. So he just has this weird way of just biting his siblings. We just bite them. You just, like, maybe we give my toy, give me your toy. We just bite. You just bite. So my wife has been telling me that Ire is doing jain. The father was telling me from UK, because he said, deal with this boy. This is Omolomo. He said, deal with this boy. So one day, my wife called me again that Ire has beat Ike again. Oh. So I left what I was doing in the studio. My studio was just 5 minutes from my house. I drove to the house. So when I got there, they were about showering them. So they are pour water on his body. I started biting him all over. Yes. I carried him. I carried him like this. And he's very fleshy. I beat his head with hair. I beat his cheek like this, but not the one that is skin with hair. I was taking bites and he was crying. I said, now you know what it feels like. That was the last time he beat any of his siblings. He beat anybody. And you feel that children don't learn. They learn.
If you
but
allow
most
them,
people don't pay attention to where that small deviation is coming from. And you see, when you leave a small deviation like this, it will not show immediately.
yeah, it will show.
But
With
draw
time.
that line.
Measure it against the
When you measure it against the parallel, that's when you're going to. So when people start saying that, when you start asking it in Yoruba, why is
You want to interpret.
why is your life this deviated? It didn't start in a day. If my father had let that stealing thing go, and maybe the first day I saw Apostle, I would have stolen his
wristwatch.
something like that. Do you understand? So I feel that most people, my father made a statement recently, and we're talking about a particular person, and I asked him a question. I said, Daddy, why are people like this? How do people end up like this? And my father made a statement. He said, forgive my Yoruba. He said, and when you shisha lori omomo, people
not investing.
People no longer work on their kids. People don't take parenting actively. Parenting is work. You are looking out for viruses.
I
like
think
this.
the most dangerous thought process around that is the fact that the society is teaching both genders to be selfish. And the sacrifice that you make on your kids now looks like what you insult people with. It looks like they are being foolish for being sacrificial. They are trying to project a narrative that it doesn't, pay off anymore. And I think that's the reason why and all that. But there's a conversation that has been bothering me, and I think we need to have tonight. And still about the subject of vulnerability. If we have discussed here that some men are not vulnerable with their spouses, oftentimes because of capacity, kindness. And my wife taught me something about validation of emotions. And she said, if I tell you something that I'm not happy about, before you counter it, validate my feelings. So when she said that, I didn't get what she was saying. So if she says something that I don't like this you do, I respond by saying, I validate your feelings. And my wife is a therapist. So she looked at me like, actually, I knew what she was saying.
You were speaking the validation.
Yeah, but I validate. But we discussed and we agreed that when one person is talking, that's not the time to counter. Listen first, receive it, let it sink. Let the person not feel bad
Unheard.
for speaking up, unheard, and that has really helped us. But this is the question I want to ask. If some men are struggling with speaking up with their spouses, why are they also struggling with speaking up with other men?
Did I answer it? Because I remember that I was trying to explain when I shared that story. So you see, a vulnerable man, like I said, could be mistaken to be a disadvantaged man.
Wow.
So if have you noticed that men tend to use other people's stories against them? Maybe some other time in the future, they just refer to it, and they refer to it in a gathering or in a place where the man would feel broken, totally
In a
broken.
detrimental way.
So
And it's not supposed to be cruise.
It's cruise sometimes to them, but it becomes. And I'll give you an instance. So I was a victim of bullying. While I was in the boarding house, I was a victim of bullying. I was the youngest in my class.
Yeah, we were like that.
Every other person was older. I remember I'd been bullied several times. There was a time that I even had a female hold me by the neck and jacked me up like this, and my legs were not touching the ground.
Oh, God.
And people laughed and laughed. So now we still have a WhatsApp group where we have all those people that was victims in their hands on the group. How do you think I felt the very first time they added me to that group?
Wow.
Feel good.
I'm just asking. So, I mean, it was very bad. It was very bad. They bully me for my food. I'll fetch water for my mates. I didn't have a father that stood me up one day and said, "Sit down, my child. You have to stand up for yourself and speak for yourself." And that is what we
Because he also was stalking you down at home.
Oh, yes. So that was part of it.
And you can't give
So
what you don't
that
have.
is what is different now. And that is what we were saying. And that is what we are still saying, that parents should live up to expectation. Talk to your children. You stand up for yourself. I watch out for my kids when they're at parties, and I see how they act. When somebody wants to take something from you and he's not asking nicely, wants to snatch it. No, don't do that. No, don't do that. Because these are things they will need.
They will need it
in the future. And I'll tell you why it is dangerous not to instill that in them. There's a particular guy in school. My last Gary and my last milk, he told me to bring it out. My mate told me to bring it out and put it in this bowl. And I said, so, I cannot give you this thing. This is the last I have. Look at it. I even opened my locker for him because I would have given him a slap. So I opened it, I showed him. He said I should pour it. And he gave me a punch in my tummy. I remember that day. I still remember it so clearly. And I fell down. And I cried. Apostle, I cried. And I released it. That story, years after, much later. And this is where it gets very, very tricky and dangerous. She was diagnosed of an ailment. And on the group, they said we should contribute. Wow. Apostle, this is real life. I was battered. Did I remember what he did? Clearly.
Wow.
Did he do it knowingly? Maybe not. Maybe it was just a boy thing.
Mhm.
Like I said, it was secondary school when probably SS1, thereabout. Was I willing to contribute, Apostle? I'm not proud to say it. No. Because to me, he left his car. Did I later now agree that what I did was very bad and very wrong? Yes. But I was just being human. The first thing that came to my head was me contribute. No. So and that's why I said that's where it gets tricky and very, very dangerous. Because these boys, if they are not being taught, would experience society's scars, which will not clear out.
Which will not clear. You know, I remember the year was 2003. And because I was trying to do the calculation as you were speaking, my dad had this senior colleague whose son happened to be in the boarding school that I attended. So automatically, he was supposed to be my big brother, supposed to be my school father, right? And then, you know, the story is quite similar. And I got there, and then one day he just called me, okay, open your provision box. And I'm like, senior fees. I've not jacked my provision. I've not unboxed it. I've not started. You know, you wait for like the second week. You try to hunger it out. I've not started. He said, open it. And I'm like, no, I can't open this thing. And he said, Abby. Then he forced his way. He opened it. He took it. He left. And then he now came back. And now said, it was me you were doing stubborn head for, Abby. Lie flat. He flogged me. He flogged me that day. More than my father flogged me that day. Yes. He flogged me. He had eaten my food. He flogged me and I counted. I counted 275 strokes.
No
What?
way.
I counted.
And you're
No
alive.
way.
I counted 275.
Show me senior fees.
I counted. Guess what?
He flogged you 275 times.
Where's my phone? Give me a minute.
No.
What?
He flogged me
That's like
275 strokes. And you know, funny how life just happens. Hold on, give me a minute. And then my dad just called me. He just sent me a voice note. The guy, he sent a voice note to me. He sent a voice note to my dad. And he was apologizing. This was last week. And then my father remembered. It was very fresh in his head. I would ask my dad to send me that voice note back. Very fresh. In fact, the point where my dad started recording the phone call was, oh no, you beat that boy. You were supposed to be his big brother and he kept begging. I don't know why 2003 till now is when? 23 years after. But you know, when I read that, when I listened to that voice note, I thank God that all I just had in me was forgiveness.
Yes.
wow.
It was just forgiveness. This is what I then told. This is what I told my dad. I said,
if I'm correct. Mo ti dáríjì ọjọ́ ti pẹ́. Ọjọ́ ti pẹ́, ọjọ́ ti pẹ́. I'm so happy to hear his voice. I'm glad he's fine and doing okay. So now mo ti dáríjì ọjọ́ ti pẹ́.
I was asking for forgiveness.
Mélòó náà la mọ̀ ń gbà ẹ́? Ọmọdé ni gbogbo wa. We were young, we were teenagers then. Ọmọ kékeré ni gbogbo wa ń gbà ẹ́. It's no big deal. I pray for you that God will keep helping you. Ọ̀nà yẹn máa là. Gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ bá dáwọ́lé á máa yọrí sí rere. Mi ní yín tó kàn.
Whose voice is
That's his voice. Praying for senior fees. That flogged him 256 times. 275 times.
Everything you lay your hands upon, it prospers. I'm forgiving you.
And because one of the
I'm so happy to hear your
oh,
voice.
sorry to cut, Apostle. almost as if when he sent that voice, the way he was speaking with my dad, almost as if things had gone bad for him. They now told him that you've offended. Go and, the way it is in Yoruba land, go and start begging whoever it is you've offended. Meaning that particular trait could have continued on a streak where he kept misbehaving for years. Up until the time he got to somebody like me, unlike me, that was not going to forgive him.
Yeah.
Because how do you beat an 11-year-old 275 strokes over his food? That was what my father kept echoing. Lori onje, over his food. I got home, I told my parents confronted his parents, he denied. Now he's calling back after 23 years.
Yeah. So I want to bring something up, which is something that is very damaging. The effect of the use of excessive force on the boy child. And how it scars the... Now, I want to say this. I didn't have so much bad experience with my dad. In the sense that it was all I had. But there is a particular day I can't forget. Just one day. Till tomorrow. When I remember the booting, I was too fragile for that. And the words. And the fact that I've experienced that from someone else. And he was like my Messiah. The fact that that was coming from him, till tomorrow it has not left me. And I feel that some of these things are things that when children now grow older, there is no relationship with the parents except just duty. So how bad is it, the effect of excessive force on children, the male child, since that's the focus of this conversation?
So when you asked, I wanted to say it's not just the male child,
Yeah.
it's the children.
Yeah.
I was reading a documentary by one of these psychologists. I'm trying to remember his name now. And he was talking about police relationships with criminal during interrogation. That intelligence police wouldn't use force to get information out of a criminal. They negotiate. They have conversations. And he has seen that in that, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Is it Finland or so? One of those countries. That's part of the reasons why their crime rates dropped. Right. Because we've seen it in movies too. When you shout at someone, the person automatically wants to shout back at you.
Yeah.
All of these things is part of exposure, part of conditioning, and all of that. Because when a male figure for the boy child use force on a child, you've exposed him to a possibility of violence.
Wow.
I did my master's project was the influence of televised aggression on the social adjustments of adolescents with hearing impairment. Right. So one of the things I pick out from that research is the power of exposure. For instance, I still share this with a teenager today. An Indian person who has never stepped into Nigeria cannot wake up to say, I want to have eba as breakfast.
No, you can.
That's not even in
It's
his
not a
context.
possibility
It's
in
not a
his
possibility
mind.
because
Yeah.
he was not exposed to that.
It's not seen that before.
He has not seen that before. So when you use excessive force on a child, you've exposed that child
To the possibility.
to the possibility
Of
of violence. And you cannot measure the extent to which that child will go with that exposure.
Exposure.
And again, we often confuse discipline with violence. And people will go with, the Bible says, spare the rod and spoil the child. Then I tell them that same Bible says, when your son disobeys you, take him to the council of elders, let them stone him to death. Well, you don't see that part in the Bible now.
And even the Bible says that you should not provoke your children to wrath.
Don't provoke your children to wrath. So we only read those scriptures through the lens of our biases. That's the issue. See, if you are to spank a child at all, I have a rule. Never spank a child for an offense that you have not explained what is wrong to him. Never. In fact, there are 10 principles I give, but you need to have put in those explain. All right, these are actions and these are consequences. Give room for grace too, for correction. But again, who are the ones parenting? That is what they were exposed to. Do you see? And you cannot give. So there are two mountains, the mountain of knowledge and the mountain of ignorance. They shape your decision-making system. You cannot do beyond the mountain of knowledge that you have, and you cannot do beyond the mountain of ignorance that you have. What you don't know, you don't know. You cannot do beyond what you know. And that is why I tell people who wants to get married, aside from premarital counseling, you need to sign up for a parenting class. Because oftentimes when we are thinking about marriage, we just think, oh, it's just two lovers. Whatever happens between you guys goes a long way to affect the outcome of those children. Because you are creating an environment for them.
Wow.
Environment of abuse in case your marriage is one. Environment of possibilities in case your marriage is one. And you cannot determine alpha because the seed is always tinier than the harvest. When you sow a seed, it's small. When the harvest comes, it's immeasurable. So that's what is going on. So what we now need to do is we need to now start teaching people how to love truly. Because in love, there's discipline. In love, there's correction. Again, how do you have conversations? Must you yell? Must you shout for you to pass your message across? I had to start teaching my wife some of these things. When you disagree with me, you don't have to raise your voice at me. So when she'll say, so now she uses the term.
We are disagreeing to agree.
Yes. I'm just increasing no, you don't have to increase the volume. We're having a conversation.
Do you know the psychological reason why people shout? I tell you. Once there is anger, the brain creates distance. Then you involuntarily raise your voice because now the fellow is far in your heart. That's the psychology of shouting.
And that's the inverse psychology of pillow talk. Once the body is close, once you're connected, you whisper.
Your voice naturally
Your voice
drops.
is low
It's the reason why people can be having extra cool calls instead of extra cool. You can be beside your friend and not hear what he's saying. The closer the heart, the lower the pitch. The farther the heart, the higher the pitch.
Right, dear man. But there's a twist.
I always love the twist from Otumba.
I love the twist.
So, I had my own ordeal similar to, how much did you steal?
5 naira.
Okay, mine was 20 kobo. So I took 20 kobo from my dad, who usually gives us money to school when we're in primary school. And I also went to my mom and did like I hadn't gotten anything and collected 20 kobo from my mom. So on that fateful day, I didn't know why my mom would tell my dad she gave me 20 kobo. Maybe they had an argument and maybe she said something like, I don't know, school. I don't know. Sha, they caught me that day. My fingers, my dad marked my fingers all through, the 2 fingers till today. Marked the 2 fingers, beat me, not with the koboko, with a ruler, a steel ruler.
With that edge, right?
Yes.
He used the ruler for you.
On my fingers.
The edge of the ruler.
Otumba,
Yes.
use the ruler to beat you. That's why you are straight.
I cried. I cried just because I wanted to buy. There's something we used to call fan ice. Wanted to buy fan ice. He beat me. He beat me. Now, maybe because of the words we have put in our kids, I've not experienced that with any one of them. But by virtue of that beating, and many more beatings, my dad taught me contentment. Contentment
Same here.
cannot
Same
be
here.
taught by love. Oh. Hold on.
Okay.
Getting somewhere.
All right.
You know, and this is not psychology.
I get
It's
you.
real life.
This is real life. I'm not talking about research that was carried out over time.
This is street.
This is what I experienced firsthand. I had other friends, you know. I am a bit exposed right now. But when I see money, I don't see money the way other people see money. So I could see something that is not right and walk away easily. That's contentment.
Sure.
I'm not living on waters, but I just feel, no, this is not right.
And Otumba, to add to what you're saying, and I mean, I studied psychology in school, and we did something called classical conditioning and operant conditioning, which is basically associating stimuli to actions and, to continue or discontinue a particular behavior. And if we look at scripture says, "Ayomode ni were disi."
It is the heart of the child
Kasiwaju.
that craziness is embedded,
used to
is
abide.
formed.
Egbalasi fi tu jade.
Hearing
Do you understand?
is
And
rod
look,
that you use to scatter
Let me tell you, in every context around this conversation, Amode Yahweh.
I get
And
your
I
point.
think
what I'm
from-
saying, what I'm
I
saying
think
is,
that balance.
look, this is
that
it. Let me
balance
explain
is
to you.
important.
If I was telling you about my brother's son, there is nothing. See, there is nothing we have not done. We've sat him down. He said, "Stop biting your brother." He said, "I did not bite it." You are lying again. He said, "Stop biting." He said, "It's not good." Do you know why he kept biting? He didn't know what it felt like. Because he was bigger than all of them, and everybody had to. I'm watching this series on Netflix now, Teach You a Lesson. Everybody had to, Ire was big, so he could easily bully his brother, even the one that was 3 years older than him. He would. And it wasn't until he got a taste of his own medicine, and it wasn't until he knew that there is a bigger fish in this pond before he behaved himself. You see, children will stretch you. And until and why do people behave the way they behave? I asked somebody, and I said, look, even as adults, we behave differently in Nigeria than we behave outside the country. Why? Because you understand that in this place, there is active consequence.
Simple.
So, what guards everybody from moving mad is the awareness of consequence.
But consequence does not.
Hold on.
From my own angle, like you said, there are consequences. Growing up, my dad was an educationist in the military, and it was simple. In the house, when you're going to school, you have your notebooks. You by yourself count the leaves. Yes. This is 20 leaves. When this 20 leaf finishes, I'll give you another one. You get the biro and a pencil. You dare not come home with someone else's biro or someone else's pencil. You dare not tear the leaf from your book.
No matter how much someone begs for it.
Yes. So there are consequences. Like you said, those things taught us contentment.
Yeah.
So I come home, my biro is finished. I must show that pen. The ink must have dried down before I get a replacement. I can't come home with someone else's biro.
Now you give them 10. Next, the following week, they tell you.
I can't dare to lose that biro or that pencil. And when you do, you just lie down.
Huh?
Of course.
You lie down.
You'll
lie down.
get
You lie down.
the
Beating of your
beating.
life.
I mean, so these things, yes, the Bible says spare the rod and spoil the child.
That must have taught you accountability.
There are so many things.
Asset protection.
Yes.
Which loving cannot teach you.
You can't
Uncle
come
Just
home.
researcher. Hope
Wait,
you know.
wait
Hope you know.
now.
Wait, because you
Let
are
you
coming
know.
here now with research.
Wait,
Hope you
wait.
know that some
Wait.
of this your research are sponsored
wait
and heavily
now.
manipulated by people
Hold
who want to
on.
create a lawless society.
What those things taught
Just hold
us. I think I remember at my dad's 83rd birthday, I recounted this to him. This taught us contentment, accountability. I mean, he makes you to know that, look, there's nobody coming to save me. There's home. So you don't just today, like you said, you even buy a box of. In the next, they'll tell you this is not the time. It was big.
Yes.
My kids will
Yeah,
tell
Big
you, no, I don't like this. This is it makes my writing. Do you have that luxury
Luxury.
then?
So, remember when I was talking about spank? I said if you must spank at all, you must have explained to them that their actions are their consequences. And I'll give you real life. I was beaten by my dad too.
Yes, that's why you are okay.
I was beaten by my dad
Of
too. I
course.
stole. So my dad does not save his money in the bank. He keeps his money in my mom's unused pots where he knows nobody will ever check. But, teenage boy, I was just searching everywhere. I saw his money. Mint. Then it was PS1. I'll take it 5 naira to go play PS1. And he knew. Because he knew how much he kept there. He didn't say anything. Because there was a law in our house. You don't take what does not belong to you. You don't take what does. So he was counting until I saw the end of that pot.
Eh?
Yes.
By
So the day
yourself.
I saw the end of the pot, there was a meeting. So he asked my mom. I counted X amount of money in that pot. Is no longer there. She was like, I don't even know that you put anything there. We were sleeping. He woke us up. What happened to the money in the Kiniko? We lied. He didn't argue. Because there was a law. You don't pick what does not belong to you. So Saturday, after having my bath, he called me again. He was like, there's a pot here. You are the only one that knows about the pot. Because I know that if there's anybody to arrange this house, it is you. So, who took the money? I did not take the money. So he asked my younger brother. He said, you took the money. You bought this. You did that. With my wet body. He said I should lie down. No, before I lay down, he has this belt he normally hangs. He said I should pick one of them. Now, he beat the hell out of me that week, not just that weekend. So I was receiving beating from Saturday till the week.
For every single time you were
For
spending
every
the money.
No, there was a time he beat me that I was bleeding at my back. And he said, when I get to the school and they said, why am I bleeding? She said, I stole my father's money.
I love Nigeria.
Now, watch this.
I love Nigeria.
I could get till that's why no matter how my friends when they were balling, just hold on. That's why when my friends were balling, I was not envying them because I had learned contentment. But watch this. He didn't just beat me without explaining.
Why?
I knew that there were consequences. Now, this is where I'm going to. People always attach this overexposure to force to us turning out well. But I also disagree. Some parents did not do it right. Else, our country wouldn't be in the situation we are today. Who raised the people embezzling money? They were beaten by their folks too. Because if we say this is the cure to this, then the solution has to be legit.
I don't agree. It's a different thing. It's a different thing
How?
entirely. It's a different thing entirely.
How?
So the society caused what's happening now about the rot. It has nothing to do with upbringing.
It's
or
part
home
of
training.
it.
Yeah, it could be part of it, but it's not entirely true.
disagree.
And I'll explain.
It's part of it though.
I disagree.
I will explain. I will
Okay.
explain. And I will explain to you. So don't we see people with the best home trainings in government now that are the worst of them all. Don't
So
we?
what I say
Don't
about
we?
home training is you get the report card not when you're training them. It is when your value is not value until it is tested.
No, so I'm saying over time. So what I'm saying is in the society,
Yes.
we celebrate, we caused our problem. So this is not a political talk.
Yeah.
But we, the society, caused the problem that's happening right now. And I'll tell you why I said so. So we all know in China, if you steal, you know what happens
You
to
die.
Consequence.
We all know in which other country about, there's another one that
With
is
serious consequences?
serious consequences.
Korea, North Korea.
North Korea,
yeah.
we all know that one. They can put you on a chair and they just wheel you to a pit and you just fall down, pwah, and nothing will happen. That's all. Now, if we had that, if we did not celebrate
Thieves.
thieves, we won't be in this situation. And that's what I'm saying. So it's not like the people stealing, but it's just when you say, oh, when I do this, I know there's no consequence, let me do it. So you could have gotten the best beating, you could have gotten the best loving, could have gotten the best of cajoling, caressing, training, and you still end up like that because you think and know for sure that there are no consequences. So it's a different thing. But I really need to understand, because what I'm saying, just to answer what Apostle asked, is we need to balance it. There's a twist, and we can't shy away from that twist. If you say, oh, I'm not going to beat my boy.
No, I'm not saying
hold on, for whatever reason, then there's a problem. Because my wife, if they do something, I'm like, will you? Wife will say, just explain calmly.
Oh, no.
So when they now frustrate her,
she will now raise her voice.
and I'll say, you just explain calmly. Do you understand? So I think that we need to be aware, and that's why parenting classes are good.
Yeah.
Very.
And it's a place to also implore churches to also do parenting classes, of course, from
And we're not talking about gentle parenting.
No, people that
That's
are
not what
very,
we are
very
talking
knowledgeable
about.
about this thing. Teach parents how to deal with children. You've got you've got other people, you've got people that, that are certified. Let them teach parents, because, like I said, between the ages, the formative years is between that age, sir.
But
4 to 12.
So this is the twist. Right now, we have people that are frustrated.
And
Life
they take
is
out that
tough.
frustration.
That's where I'm going to.
Yes.
So life is
and they
tough
take, in
right
the name
now.
of corporal
In the
punishment,
name of corporal
and discipline,
punishment,
they take out that frustration on their children.
there's a clear difference between you just beating a child and discipline. I'm still holding on to the fact that a lot of people who says they receive beating from their parents, they don't turn out well. Trust me, sir. They do not.
Can I just say something? Sometimes it's a kind of beating that can cause psychological distance. That the child feels, I must be his enemy to have been treated like this.
Sorry, sir.
And there is the
now have
balance
men
too. There is the balance of
who
feminist.
beat their wives, who beat their, as a means of. In fact, I have a case. What am I saying? I have 3 cases. This happens in Lekki. The girls, and these are high-class girls, they believe, oh, he's beating me because I need to be corrected. And when you ask the guy, must you beat her? If I don't beat her, she won't learn.
Sorry.
Because that is
wife,
girlfriend, not even
girlfriend.
wife, girlfriend.
Okay.
So imagine if that kind of person
the guy
now marries
believes that if he doesn't beat the girl,
both parties.
Which home is she coming from?
These are the issues.
So there are cultures
So one
where
of the things I did for one
these
of
things are normal.
the one that really was interested in going through the therapy and sessions, she said she grew up to see her dad correct them that way. That is how you correct. That this is the model for. So if I annoy him, he has the right to beat me. If he does not beat me, I won't change. I won't change.
again, it boils down to family.
Family. See, the report card of our society today is parenting.
True.
And that tells us that the next couple of years is going to be much more chaotic.
It's going to get better now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that's why I was trying to emphasize that parenting needs to step up 2 notches. And like I said, you need to be able to clearly define when to engage beating as a means of correction, and when to engage talking as a means of correction. My father had both. My father
true.
could
My dad had
my
both.
father could wash you down with his mouth like this. In fact, you'll be crying before the beating.
You prefer to be flogged
For me, yes. When I was younger, I preferred to be flogged
than
because I
those
had
words.
that body. I had that body. So in fact, sometimes I commit crime with all my full chest just because I know I will not die.
No. You know, in psychology, we were taught something that you get to a point of learned resistance.
Yeah.
Of where
It doesn't affect you
it doesn't
anymore.
affect you anymore.
You're used to
I
it.
mean, I think my father in his wisdom knew when to switch.
You have to know.
Right.
That's it.
He
That's
knew
the
when
best
to
way.
he knew when to switch. He knew when to switch on individual days. He knew when to switch at a total. Like I got to a point where he just knew that you can't beat this boy again. In Yoruba, we call it motiwa kwenyeke. I had formed, and
I'm sure you knew how to toggle between you,
he knew, and my
your style,
brother,
and your brother.
That's what I said. You know, I said in the last episode that if you
Yeah.
wanted to tell my brother tell us the same thing, he would tell my brother, Tayo, don't go there. So for Tayo is an instruction. For Okpayemi, it has to be a warning, a threat. Do you understand? And for time, there are times when I knew that I'll do this stuff. Daddy will flog me, but we'll do it
I'll do it
anyways.
still.
And then when
sorry, please, that's where it becomes dangerous.
Yeah.
Even in religion,
yeah,
there are people that get to the point where they say, you know what? I'm ready to go to hell.
yeah.
Is it not hellfire?
Is that now?
Let's go now.
They may not know what it feels like,
But they're like,
having experienced what they have experienced,
yeah.
they're like, let me do what I have to do
Let
here.
me do it.
and
And
go.
I get it. And it's at that point, it's no longer that they are not aware of the repercussions now. They are not ignorant of the repercussions. They've embraced the repercussions.
You've gotten
They are
used
looking
to it.
forward to it. So it comes to a point where something snaps in the mind of people where you must gauge it. You must gauge it. It's like you're driving a car and you're driving a manual car. You must know when to transmit gear. If not, you burn out the clutch. You burn out the
That's
engine.
part of parenting
And
skill, knowing
knowing
when
when
to
to switch.
switch.
And I remember there was a time when if they corrected me for anything in the house or maybe my father flogged me, everybody in the house would feel it all. I would keep malice with everybody. I've kept malice for 2 months before. And so my father knew how to beat me for the punishment, for the beating of whatever it is I did. He could not beat me out of malice. Do you understand? I just don't feel like talking to anybody. What's the crime in that? So I will punish them for him punishing me. Right? And one day, I can't forget. My father just called me one day. He just called me. He was sitting on the toilet seat in his master bedroom. He was pooping. He just called me. He said, Okpayemi, come. I'm sure before he called me, now thinking of it as a parent too, he don't think calm.
Yeah.
He was pooping. He just said, he had this pants down his leg like this, white pants, I can't forget. He just called me, Okpayemi. It was more like a guy who talked. He said, why do you keep malice? I don't know. He said, I don't keep malice again. And I said, oh, okay.
And that works.
And that worked. Like, it was the first time we ever had a conversation about it. He just called me, he said it's Yoruba.
And I know the way he said, the way he talked.
I said, he begged me.
See, Otumba.
And Otumba, that was it. So I feel that as parents, we must trust God for the wisdom to know what works part time. The wisdom to know when one thing has stopped working. And the
Working, yeah.
fact that it worked in your generation
Does not mean
it will work in this generation. And the fact that this generation is different doesn't mean there are some principles that are now extinct.
Of course.
There are some principles that are transgenerational.
Of
There are
course.
some principles that are generationally allocated.
Of course.
Because you just have to figure out that, okay, this TikTok, Gen Z, AI generation, there's a way to still teach the principles of hard work, honor, contentment. And you will now have to speak it in a language that they will understand. Because now you are trying to communicate the same thing. But if you try and communicate it the same way,
you get it all wrong.
you might get it
In
wrong.
fact, I'm heading somewhere.
And there are some things that must be communicated the same way.
I remember an episode that happened to me in secondary school. I went to a public secondary school, right, where you have 120 students in a class, no windows. You can always fly through the windows. And whenever you offend a teacher, they call all male teachers to beat you. Now, I'm thinking about the bad guys in my school. There are several times that they'll call all male teachers to beat them, talking about the fact that you get used to something, it does not have any impact on you. Those guys didn't turn out well. If beating is a yardstick of turning out well in life, then it would have worked on them.
Okay. Hold on, sir.
I'm not saying beating is...
Hold on,
I want you to get my point.
I've understood it.
Okay.
Yeah, your point is right here.
Okay.
I want us to examine something. So I just remembered, while you were speaking, I remembered what you said, that you told your child, whatever happens, come home. I think Apostle mentioned it during the week. So when my wife got home, because when she was asking, oh, I was up, I said, it was fine, it was okay. I didn't want to spill anything. So she said, Apostle even mentioned
You were not vulnerable.
Yeah. She said, Apostle even mentioned, so she said, Apostle even mentioned that there was one of you that said, whatever happens, come home. I said, yes, now should be we here together though. Now, my father had a different opinion. If you bring shame to the house,
Don't come home.
Don't come home.
don't come home. And I'll tell you. So I remembered, I went to one of the model colleges in Lagos. It was a boarding house. We went to steal chicken in the school poultry.
Hello.
So for the first time, I now feel you deserved those beatings.
Apostle, I was hard. I know I was hard.
Really amazed.
I know I was hard. So like I told you, I had 4 older sisters
Yeah.
that I took pleasure
In beating.
I'll sit down and I'll rejoice.
Yeah, the man.
That yes, that was the only way I could mark the territory.
And because your daddy
So
was
I
beating
thought.
too.
So I thought. So we tied the security man.
You tied.
Oh yes, we tied him.
At what age?
I was in SS2.
That should be 13, 14,
SS1.
15-ish.
Yes.
Otumba.
So we tied him.
He reached where your back get everybody.
So it was an open litter poultry. So they had rooms for different chicken. We were the ones taking care of the chicken. So we knew the route, we knew the area, we had prepared for it. It was a mission we planned. So we tied the gate man, we went in, we took the chicken. I think we took about 3 or 4. It was nearing the holiday, so we wanted to just feast, So we couldn't do all. So we agreed we're going to return 1. So we went back. So I wasn't part of the return team. So I didn't go to return because it was the people that returned that they were able to, I think, pick faces or something. So they caught one person and the person had to recount, oh, it was this person. And they listed names.
And your name was there?
Number 1.
How my name didn't make that list till
So it's
tomorrow.
like we lived the same. Otumba, it's like we lived the same life.
Till tomorrow, I cannot explain. So this is what happened for everyone that participated in that and they published their names. They suspended them. Not only that, they had to come from home to write exam. It was a lot of punishment. And some of them were wondering, was this guy not there? They were, but I knew while they were compiling those names, and I prayed a silent prayer. God, you know that I will not go home if this happens. If this is how my life will end, so be it. I'm not proud to say it. I wouldn't have gone home. I would have probably jumped into third mainland or something. Guess what? One of the people they suspended didn't get home, killed himself. That's a kind of parenting. Wow. That's a kind of parenting. See, my father made us understand. Instead of you to bring shame to me, kill yourself. Don't come home.
In every honesty, Otumba, in every honesty, I think I give kudos to my dad. The guy get crazy, but I get crazy too for Ed. And I think I turned out this way because I had a crazy father. Ask anybody about Dr. Oke of Osun State College of Education. It was my dad's student. Ask him. I know I have a father that I won't be a dad. And at the same time, he was able to balance it with this loving side. And the foundation for his discipline was love.
Love.
Were there times he went overboard? Yes. But we knew that daddy loves us. So I think the foundation once the foundation of love, and I've seen Apostle talk about this before.
Yeah.
You were correcting one of your proteges who you gave some authority to, and she was disciplining some people under her.
Yeah.
And you were beginning to sense rebellion, and you called her. You said, look, I have the right to deal with these people the way you see me deal with them, because I have deposited love inside them.
Account.
For anybody that you have not deposited love into, you do not have a right to correct them.
Because you produce rebellion.
Because you produce rebellion.
That's what I'm talking
The foundation of discipline, that's what Onkokwa is trying to say. The foundation of discipline has to be love. I remember one day that my father, I got to as a new body now student, and they had not, so I was still wearing my mufti. I don't know if the man is still alive. Mr. Fallowo was the senior body nurse master. And my father lectured in the College of Education, so many of the teachers in our school were students of my dad. And my dad's course was the core course. So for you to graduate, you must go through my dad. And they didn't give me my cutlass, my broom, and these were stuff that we had paid for. And remember, as a body now, so they will flog us hostel every morning for not having those things. So for a midterm break, long break, I'll tell my dad that Mr. Fallowo has not given me broom and cutlass, and they are flogging me every day. And then my father followed me for resumption, the way he usually did. And then he went to go and meet Mr. Fallowo, and he said, Mr. Fallowo, this is my son. He said, I know him. He said, you have not given him cardigan, broom. I will go to Mr. Fallowo's office like this. I will see broom, cutlass, and cardigan. And he will not give me my own. So I reported him to my father. And my father came, and my dad was so cool with him. And he said, sir, please, this boy said you have not given him cutlass, and they are beating him in the assembly, in the hostel, every morning. Please give him. And then, as Mr. Fallowo's village people would have it that day for him, his response was, you don't know these children. He has collected it and misplaced it. My father said, one, the fact that you made that statement shows how foolish you are. So people that knew my dad was already holding him. He said, one, that's two insults in one. He said, one, you called my child a liar. He said, Okoyemi can be careless, it can be destructive, but he will never lie. And then when you now go ahead to now say, I don't know my child.
Second insult.
Oh, I can never forget that day. And this person, this Mr. Falawa was a retired soldier. It took Mr. Akintola, Mr. Fagungbe, Mr. Fatola, and Mr. Akiokun to hold my father. He was going to kill him. And Mr. Falawa was the senior but next master that everybody feared. My father now said, Toba Bieda. Talking to him that if they born you well, don't give this boy all that is due, and let me hear that you are victimizing him. That's when you will know that I senior your headmistress.
Wow.
And truly, my dad seniored our headmistress.
Interesting.
And till I put it to you, sir, till I finished, if I'm coming like this, Mr. Falawa will go like this. I don't know whether he had intentions of going like this before. Till I graduated, the man avoided me. And it was this same father that fought for me like this. Took me one day by the trouser and said, I will feed you rat poison, you will die. You want to go
What's the meaning of that?
You are not the only child I have.
Yeah.
And he told me one day, after I had frustrated him, he grabbed me by the arm, he threw me inside his car, and he said he's taking me to a Yeso prison. By himself. So because the way you are going, you will end up in prison. I will not waste time. I will take you there myself. I beg. So I feel that when children grow up in an environment where they know that there is no father figure to instill discipline, they run wild. And research has proven it. Data has proven it. There was a conservatory that they needed to move the elephants because they were being predated upon. And they said, okay, you know what? Let's take the mother elephants and the baby elephants first. They are smaller. We will come back for the male elephant. And if you know elephants, they are gentle giants. An elephant will not just charge at you for no cause. So they took the baby elephants and they took the mother elephants to another conservation. And you know what happened? The baby elephants, not even the mother elephants, started oppressing every other animal in that jungle. They were stomping them, bullying them, tusking them. And they were not like that where they were coming from.
Because there was no male.
And then they had to bring another researcher or whatever to, what's the problem? Is it the grass they are eating here? Is it the water? He said, no, it's simple. The fathers are missing.
There are no male elephants there.
So they went back immediately, earlier than they planned, to go and bring back the father elephants. Immediately the father elephants came, that nonsense stopped.
Sorry to cut you.
So
Yemi.
I'm coming. We have a world whereby the male figure is being systematically removed from society.
Yeah.
And that's why we have so much chaos. And that's why I was tackling your research. And I don't mean to debase the academic
so
climate.
we have to start bringing this conversation to a close. And I want to do this as we close. Because it's about 2 hours already. I want the two most experienced men here to speak to the men, because this is as we celebrate Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Men who are going through life, and amazingly, for amazing reasons, both of you have experienced the ups and downs. You've been bereaved. You've known the pain, the heals, and the journey to healing and all that. So if you could take turns, speak to the men who are going through those things right now and are about to throw in the towel, and maybe also a short word of advice.
Men cry. Men, they cry. Men feel. You don't need to be as strong as you think you are. You need to express yourself once in a while. You need to build community. I will say maybe I'm lucky. We're boys in my house. So we're able to hold forth for each other. Let's build a community where you can be naked and not ashamed, where you will be able to tell your fellow brother, it's not easy with me today. You'll be able to bear out your mind. And someone will say, guy, I got you. It's hard out there, but trust me, when we have this kind of people that can hold space for us, that's all you need. Apostle knows one of my younger brother. That's all I heard when I was passing through when I lost my wife. He was there. Guess what? Is the last much more older than him. But he was there. So you just need someone to hold space for you. To let you know that, look, it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel. You need to get those things off your chest at every point in time. And guess what? Trust God. For me as an individual, one of the things I've seen in my journey is that at every bend, God shows up. So don't lose faith. It's just a turn. The journey won't end there. Trust God. Trust God. Build community. And God will reward that, your hard work. Those things that you've dreamt of. You wake up each day and wish for your children, for your family, for God will make it come through. Don't give up. Thank you.
Wow. I feel like saying, let's give him a round of applause. Thank you,
It's
sir.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
I'd like to say to men out there, it's okay to be naked. It's okay to be naked. And I'm going to draw us to a scripture that says, many are the afflictions, not of the sinners, not of the scornful, not of the strangers, of the righteous. But why? But he left us with a promise that the Lord God delivered them from them all, not some. So I was trying to explain on Sunday when I gave a short speech that it's all about understanding what they call face. People go through phases, yes. Whatever you're going through, just like I was sharing before the podcast with Apostle, with Uncle, I said there's a saying that I have, and I usually say, "Ọmọ Ọlọ́run kì í há." A child of God can never be stranded. All we need to do as men is to draw strength from the word of God. Just draw strength per day, per time. Draw strength. And I'm sure that the knowledge from God, the undiluted wisdom of God, is all that you need in whatever you're going through. Be strong, be courageous. You have dreams, pursue it. You fall down, stand up. Avoid pity parties. Regrets, for me, are usually a waste of time. You fall, stand up, dust yourself, move on. Don't count the steps. You count the steps, you waste time in forging ahead. And I know that as we submit ourselves to the constant teachings from apostle, and other men of God, it will work. It will work for you. In Jesus' name. Thank you.
Apostle,
Wow.
can I just give a gentle counsel?
Yeah.
Um,
A minute.
1 minute. You see, there is a reason why Mama landlord they plenty pass Baba landlord, and it's because Baba landlord don't die.
Especially in Ibadan.
Baba is dead. Dear man, take care of yourself. When you're done taking care of everybody, don't forget to take care of yourself. Eat well. You fed everybody. Feed well. Feast. Take time out to rest. Shut down. Go somewhere. Switch off your phone. Because when you die, if you die, and when you die, life goes on. On the day of your obituary, people will still eat. Take time. Now, this is not about you being selfish. When you've taken care of everybody and you've done the responsibilities that both the one that is due and the one that is undue, rest, eat well, go for health check. It's not anti-manly, it's not unmanly to go for a full health check. Tell a doctor, check my eyes, check my heart, check my blood level. Eat good food, eat well, drink good drinks so you can live longer. Take care of the engine that is doing the work. It's not unmanly.
Thank you.
So you mean it's too.
1 minute. Yeah.
They've said valid stuff to men. So I want to say something to the society. You know, the scripture says, if the foundation is destroyed, what can the righteous do? We read that scripture in the context of maybe my personal life and all of that, but it addresses societal issue. I believe that man is the foundation of the society. When God created, when it starts human beings, it started with a man, then made woman later. So man is the foundation of the family, of the society. If the man is faulty, everything is messed up. The issues we are dealing with today in our society can be traced to the absence of men or to the presence of dysfunctional men. So if we don't address the issue of men, of man, of fathers, then our society will keep getting messed up. So it's time we take care of our men. So if you have a man around you, a father, a boy child, please take care of them. Thank you.
Wow, amazing, amazing. Maybe if there's a word I will give is before you die, live. Sometimes many people just, because of the presence of all the troubles, all the cares, forget to live. They're not in touch with reality. No good memory in themselves. Everything is about what you're doing for people or what you're trying to achieve. Truly live while you're here with us. And that also means, like Kemi King said, stay alive. Don't throw in the towel. Get a good community. God still helps, and He uses men. I want to thank everybody for this conversation today. For despite your busy schedule, because how we've been able to gather everyone like this, I don't know. Thank you for the second appearance on Declassified. Thank you.